Hello my goddesses, my name is Sherry Kumar of thegoddessprinciples.net, and today's video is based on my latest blog post called Relationship Obsession. If you like this video, please check out my other social media feeds as well as my website www.thegoddessprinciples.net, where I list all my links to my social media. You can join the Goddess Principles group on Facebook and interact with other goddesses. It's a private group, so no one can see what we post, but we usually have some wild discussions online. Also, if you like this video, if you're interested in these posts, please subscribe to my channel or post your comments below so I can answer some of your questions. But getting back to today's topic called Obsessed with Relationships, I wanted to bring up this subject because it's something that has been on my mind for years. It's something that I have noticed more lately since I became single in the last 6 years, and it's something that I see is preventing a lot of women from leading very full and complete lives, and making a lot of you unhappy. I should mention that I wasn't born and raised in this country, and I spend a lot of my time currently abroad. And this is one of the biggest things that I have noticed about American culture, is that there is such a thing as relationship obsession, particularly among women. I don't want to generalize, but for the sake of this video and my posts, most of my readers are women, and most of my clients, all of my clients are women. So I'm not generalizing, I'm just using the term women to relate to you all. So what is relationship obsession? Like any other obsession, it's a fixation, it's an addiction to a particular subject, it's an excessive need, and it's also an excessive preoccupation with this particular subject. And when we're obsessed with anything at all, we're not being exactly healthy. And I'm not blaming women for this. I think a lot of it is part of our culture, the American culture, and of course I always blame the media for everything. I feel that a lot of media pushes women to feel like they absolutely need to be in a relationship. You need a husband, you need a boyfriend, you need a relationship because a relationship will make you happy. And some of us who are not in relationships tend to spend most of their times looking for a relationship, wondering why they're not in a relationship, obsessing about some guy who's not giving them a relationship, and it goes on and on and on and on. And this is something that I notice isn't necessarily prevalent in the culture where I come from, very, very far away. I'm a mixed origin, so I'm bicultural. But it's not something that's so common in other cultures. And so I wanted to discuss why this is, and also how this obsession with relationships is really deterring a lot of people from finding that perfect mate. Like I said, it's really not healthy. I'm a big believer in energy, and I see how our thoughts, our feelings, our emotions are projected out into the world. You may not be using relationships as your favorite topic of conversation, but if it's something that you're thinking about a lot and pining for a relationship, I think that's exactly what you're projecting, whether you notice it or not. A lot of people can notice it. Some of us are very sensitive to energy. A lot of us are very intuitive, and people pick up that about you regardless of whether you talk about that subject or not. And those people, particularly men who are not as intuitive, can smell your obsession a mile away, or they can tell right away how much you need a relationship and how much effort you're going to put into the relationship, and how fixated you are on the relationship going right for you, solving problems of a relationship, getting overly involved or overcritical. These are things that most people fear about when they enter a new relationship, is really what are the expectations of this other person, and how needy they are going to be. but also how much work am I going to have to give in order to satisfy this person. And naturally, people who are obsessed with relationships tend to need a lot more from that relationship. Energetically speaking, those of you who understand energy and the energy that we all project, obsession feels very much like the feeling of hunger, like the feeling of need, the feeling of not being 100% satisfied, the feeling of something's missing from my life. In fact, a lot of my clients who first contact me are very, very successful women. They're very accomplished. And some of them really want to figure out, how to make themselves a little bit more happy. But as a topic of conversation moves along, eventually it all boils down to my life is complete, but. And these are all very beautiful, amazing women with full lives, but that but is the piece that's missing. And the more the conversation moves along, the more it becomes obvious that that relationship that's missing isn't just a minor piece of their lives that's missing, that needs to be filled. It really is a major topic of conversation. So, if watch yourself, watch your thoughts, and ask yourself, how much of my conversations am I devoting to relationships? Lack of relationships. When I'm in a relationship, how much time or how much of my time do I spend talking about the person I'm in a relationship with? Am I going to be in a relationship with this person? When will we change our Facebook status? Where is this leading to? What's going to become of this relationship? And a lot of women are so over-focused on the relationship, whether they're in one or not, and once they have one, how to maintain that relationship, how to fix it, how to ensure that it lasts forever, how to ensure that it's going to lead to commitment or a ring, that they forget that the purpose of dating or meeting somebody new isn't how to preserve the relationship. The purpose is to get to know the person, or to get to know as many people as possible, and then have a wide variety of choices and objectively evaluate this person and say, is this person for me? Am I enjoying this relationship or his company? How much fun am I having? And you can't really do that, when you have only one prospect and one relationship at a time. But also, you can't do that objectively when your focus is on how to make this relationship move along, how to get it from point A to point B. So, like I said, I do observe that in the U.S., particularly in this country, women mostly are told by media that relationships are the defining point of their lives, and you're simply not complete without that. Contrary to that belief, there are a lot of us out there who are free, absolutely free. When I say free, I mean we're not free from relationships, but I see that a lot of women who are thriving, the ones who are man magnets, who are enjoying their lives, the ones who love dating and are not necessarily obsessed with settling down, are the women who give themselves as many choices as possible in terms of dating. They're in no rush to run down the altar, but also there's no obsession with the relationship. The healthiest people in the world are focused on themselves. Healthiest women in the world are focused on themselves. When you shift that focus away from a potential mate to yourself, to your inner world, but also to your reality, when you shift that focus to your career, to your personal development, to your interests, to your hobbies, to your travels, that's exactly when you shift the energy of what you're projecting to the outer world, but you're also shifting the energy of the focus. The focus is now not the man, the focus is now me. When you shift your energy inward, what you're really doing is calling attention to your inner world, so other people notice that your focus is on yourself. And guess what they automatically do? Their attention shifts to that inner self of yours. So that's exactly when the opposite sex is more likely to be interested in you. If she likes herself so much, I'm curious, let me find out what is there to like. And so that exactly is the magnet that some goddesses have that keeps attention on them at all times without drama. They don't create drama, they don't need it. Instead, to get people to focus on you, you need to be focused on you. If you're focused on so-and-so who didn't call you and so-and-so who never texted you, well, guess what? Your focus is out there, and now you're making it clear that people are not satisfying your needs simply by not calling you and not texting you. Really, a goddess does not care. A goddess doesn't give a damn who calls her back or not. She's always perfectly happy on her own, but because she appreciates her inner world so much, her time is precious. She has no time to waste wondering what people think of her, whether they're going to text her or not, because she's always busy. She always has something to do. She has her own personal interests, which are always 1,000 times more important than any interest of her boyfriends. She has projects that she's always working on, and usually those projects are somehow contributing to her personal development. She loves to travel on her own. She's not necessarily focused on who's going to travel with me, who's going to hold my hand. She loves to experience things and learn them all by herself. So that's your inner focus. Inner focus can also be, philosophy, spirituality, meditation, which is something that I'm a huge fan of and I've been doing for years, and I will be doing more videos about meditation and how that shifts your focus. But really, a goddess is a woman who knows herself. She respects herself. She's highly focused on herself because she sees clearly that she's much more interesting than anything out there, than any man out there, than any woman out there, than any subject. She is focused on herself. And try this at home. Give yourself a 1 or 2 week test where you remind yourself, A, to never speak about relationships or what a potential relationship is doing for you. And shift your focus inward. Get to know yourself a little bit better. Start to talk about things that interest you, whether it's art or travel or the symphony. It doesn't really matter. But you'll see that when you stop talking about other people, those other people immediately shift their focus on you. When you start talking about yourself, and when your interests are very, very deep and when your interests are, all on yourself or personal interests, you'll see that people will become very eager and they want to know you. They want to know why you're passionate about art. Why are you so passionate about traveling to Africa by yourself? Why are you so passionate about a particular cause? But you have to practice that in order for other people to notice that inner part of you. And like I said in many of my videos, I love to experiment with relationships. Every time I meet somebody new, I shift my energy a little bit and I practice to see, how the other person reacts to me. My personal attitude has always been to love dating for the sake of dating. I enjoy meeting people. I enjoy meeting new men. I believe they're all part of my greater experience. They do not have to give me anything. I don't need anything from them, and so they're usually very free and comfortable around me. There's never any pressure, but also I notice very quickly that within a very short time, men shift their focus onto me and they make a lot of effort trying to get to know me or trying to get inside my head, trying to get to know my personal interests or my personal positions or whatever subject. But I keep that focus on me at all times, and that never changes. And really, that's the difference between a goddess and someone who's trying a little too hard to find a relationship and maintain a relationship, is that focus. Women who are thriving in dating and really enjoying dating enjoy one thing more than anything, and that is they enjoy their own personal lives more than anything. That is always their top priority. That makes them more interesting people, but also those women, for them it's clear to see that they are in fact very much complete, that they don't compromise their time for people who don't meet their needs. And that's something you're not going to be able to articulate to a man in words, because most men will want to see proof. You can tell them that you're very independent and that you're not over-focused on commitment, but you know what? Most guys don't believe that about women. Instead, they wonder, aha, when exactly is she going to show her true self? So, but really, relationship obsession is something that I feel is very, very unhealthy. Any obsession is very unhealthy, but particularly relationships. And I want to stress that if you do, you have to be very honest with yourself. If you feel that you are obsessed with relationships, the best thing you can do for yourself is work on that and shift your focus on yourself. But also understand that obsession is pushing people away from you. It's also slowing down the process of you meeting healthy people. If you're obsessed, you're much more likely to meet somebody else who's obsessed, or you're much more likely to be matched up to somebody who is a complete self-absorbed narcissist who doesn't care about you because he cares about himself. So, a good, solid, healthy male will be attracted to a woman who has a full, complete life with interests and who has self-respect. He's not going to be attracted to a woman whose every topic of conversation is, this man did this to me, and that guy never called me back, and that one cheated on me, and that one didn't give me commitment within 6 months, and complaints. When you're talking like that, everybody can see how badly you need a relationship. So the funny thing is, most of my clients are women. I mentor women on the subject of the Goddess Principles and help them improve their lifestyle, shift their focus onto themselves, also help them lead more fulfilling lives. And of course, in the end, it always boils down to dating men and sex. But roughly 55% of my readers are men who I do not mentor at all, but I interact with them very frequently via email. And I think about 60% of my Instagram followers are men. And the funny thing is, when my first interaction with those men is always, where are women like you? Where can I find women like you? Where can I find women who is not obsessed with whether I'm going to satisfy her in a relationship? Where can I find a woman who's complete, who has better things to talk about than when will we change our Facebook status? So for more information about me, please go to my website, www.thegoddessprinciples.net. This particular video is also posted in text as a blog. So if you need more details, feel free to read more on the subject there. I will post my social media feeds below, so you can follow me on Instagram, Facebook, and Pinterest. But if you like the topic of this video, please subscribe and hit like. I love to answer your questions, so post any questions in the comment section below. Talk to you later. Bye.